we talk a lot off camera about these things, but talk about the importance of finding your calling, man. Finding your calling and knowing that God has a plan and purpose for your life. Because we see so many people out here today, self-seekers, out here trying to just chase the world, putting themselves first. And we have people on the other side, people who are lost
Right.
and don't know what to do.
Right.
And just kind of just self-sobbing in their own misery and just feeling sorry for themselves. So B-M.A.C, talk to the people about finding how important it is to, find your calling and knowing God's plan and purpose for your life.
Man, it is. You woke up this morning.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this podcast, we're here recording it. Tomorrow's not promised, but we wake up today. We wake up tomorrow, and the next day. Each day we wake up, we got a purpose. That means God is using us for something. God's plan is not something that we can pinpoint. You can't pinpoint it with words. You can't pinpoint it with your mind. It's so much bigger than what you can see right now. That we just talked about how God knew us, before He formed us. That He knows everything that we're capable of doing, and He knows everything we're not capable of doing. But everything that we're capable of doing is according to His purpose and what He wants us to do for a bigger purpose, because it's more than you. And I think people, even the most unselfish people, still get caught up in themselves because they still wonder, what am I really doing here, right? And so you have to understand that when you doubt yourself, when you doubt what God has for you, it's like you're indirectly doubting God, and we all do it. Like, I'm not saying that I don't do it, because I definitely do. I'm still trying to build myself up, in a sense. And so God has done wonders and works in me, considering where I used to be feeling about myself compared to now. For those of you guys who have low self-esteem or struggle mentally with who you are, there's always a purpose in God. And I just challenge anybody, if that's your biggest struggle, that you need to really dig into Christ, because He can show you. And just like you, and I don't want to tell your testimony for you, ClearLanes, but you played basketball for a number of years. Me and you used to be in the gym all the time, like every day. You gotta go on my Instagram and see me dribbling with 3 balls. I got that from him back in 2015. That was a long time ago. But just thinking about how hard you worked, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into everything. Everybody walking in the gym would have thought, yeah, this man trying to play in the league. And of course, I know in your mind that's probably what you wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then God just did a whole 180, 360 and turned you into a musician almost overnight.
Yeah.
And then to see how far you come in such a short amount of time, it's like whenever you I've heard you tell so many people about that testimony, and then I'm just, every time I hear it, it just shows me when you really following God. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had no idea that you had talent for this. So ClearLanes, I definitely want to hear your take on that.
Man, finding your calling is so pivotal, man, in this life. I think the first thing we have to understand is that God created us for Him. He didn't create us for us.
Right.
Like I said before, we have so many people self-seeking, trying to fulfill these things. And what's crazy, man? And there's so many I've heard so many testimonies about these people. You get the money, you get the fame, you get the success, you get the things that you've been working for. And yet, once you have it, you realize you're still unhappy. Because that's the thing. We chase these things thinking that we're going to be happy. For me, man, the only true happiness you can find is in Jesus.
Right.
Is in Jesus, man, because I see so many people. I mean, we see, in both industries, man, and people that we adore, people that, people idolize, they're always on drugs. They revert to drugs, revert to alcohol, revert to, all these different things, man, but God, but their spirit, man.
Trying to fill a void.
Trying to fill that hole, man, inside, because they finally realize, like, yo, this money, this fame, like, this wasn't, it's not fulfilling.
Right.
It's not fulfilling, because, like, all I want is more. It's like a never-ending cycle. Mm-hmm. It's a never-ending cycle, man. So it just tells you at the end of the day, man, that there's nothing in this world that can fulfill you but the Spirit of God. So again, like I said, man, it's understanding that God created you for Him. God created you for Him, man. And once you realize that, the next thing to do is lay it at His feet. Because like you said before, God laughs at our plans. He mocks our plans, because He knows that He can take you so much farther. He has so much greatness in store that He wants to give to you. But until you lay it down at his feet, until you surrender at his throne, you will never see the light of it.
Right.
So I think that, number two, again, I go back to renewing your mind. There's so much distraction in the world today. There's so much comparison, envy, jealousy. Social media is like a blessing and it's a curse at the same time.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're constantly looking. I
real.
mean, think about it. It's like you could be in the spirit and then you flip. All it takes is a couple flips. You got some lust over here. You got somebody throwing some money over here, acting like they living their best life when it's really all a lie. They just out here capping.
They be broke.
Yeah,
Throwing all that
behind the
money.
scenes, and you like, oh man, the devil. All it takes, man, is a couple seeds, man, to plant into. It's dangerous, man. It's toxic, man. The internet is so toxic now, and that's why it's so important for us to separate the worldly things, what's worldly and what's spiritual, carnal and spiritual, man. Because you can just get sucked into that thing quick. I mean, sucked into it quick, man. For me personally, B-Mac, when it came to my purpose and my calling. You have some people who know their calling and they've known it for years, but they run away from it.
Oh,
they run
boy.
away from it. I've heard those stories. For me, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was excited. I was excited the first time that God spoke into my heart when he gave me dreams and visions and showed me things that he had in store for my life. I was excited because for me, it was like, I don't have to do this by myself no more. Like,
Right.
God is in control.
Right.
All I have to do is have faith in him.
Right.
Easier said than done, but nonetheless, it will be done. We know at the end of the day, God's plans will not fail.
Right.
And all I got to do is have faith, mustard seed.